Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video answering questions and talking about freelancing and what it's like to be a freelance designer slash artist person, human. I have been a freelance designer person for around, well, I graduated a couple of years ago, so 2 years. I say designer artist person because the kind of work I do is kind of a mix. Like, my main thing right now is album cover design. But I kind of do a bit of everything. Like I did some work for Adidas, but that was more social media, sort of marketing design and window display design, and some like book cover stuff. Sometimes it's just like collage commissions because I do collage art, which is like my main style that I tend to use, but not always. Like, I work for a record label and design album covers for there, and I get to do all kinds of things like photography, painting, drawing, literally anything. It's quite open, so you kind of get to do a mix. I'm going to start with some questions that I've seen on my community tab on YouTube. This is on my ASMR channel. I asked about doing a video for this channel. If you attend an art school or have an art major, I went to college and did photography and graphic design and business studies. I went on to university and studied graphic design, which then you could then specialise, which I did design for publishing, which is basically sort of cover design, which is what I love. And originally I was going to go into book cover design, and I had planned my whole life around book cover design. And then, because I didn't really know that album covers existed, if you know what I mean, like, I knew that they existed in the world, but I never thought of it as a profession. So I was going to go into book cover design, and to be honest with you, I don't really read books. I felt like a fraud because I wanted to do book covers because I love designing book covers and cover design in general, but I didn't read books. So when I'd go to publishers and say, hey, I'm a book cover designer, they go, oh, what's your favourite book? And I'd be like, say not favourite book, I'm wearing The Hobbit, although this is The Hobbit and Adventure Time mixed t-shirt right now, but you know what I mean, like, I don't read every night. I'm not like a reader. Then I got a job, got just a commission to do a collage for an album cover, and I did it and loved it. And then I thought, I listen to music though. I might not read books, but I love music. And I found out about that whole world and started doing research, and since then I've just been working for record labels and bands and getting commissioned to do albums, which has been my main sort of career so far. Yeah, so I did a degree in design for publishing, which was honestly the best decision. Like, not just for the word degree on the CV, but honestly I learned so much, like, about everything, about all Adobe software, just everything. Favourite type of design work to do? My favourite type of design work is when it's really open, like when they're just like, my favourite album cover commissions are where they go, here's the name of our album, go for it. Like, do whatever you want, and you just brainstorm loads of ideas. I spend nights like scribbling down this, oh, I could do that, and you get to experiment with paint, with collage, with photography, with weird shoots and ideas. That's my favourite kind of work because you get to just be a complete mad person. If you're a guy, you know what I'm trying to say. Certain free apps you can use to design. Free apps, so I use Adobe software because that, like, you know, that's my job, to use that kind of software. But I started doing it sort of career-wise. There's apps on iPad and phone and stuff. PixArt I used for a long time to create collage art, edits, design stuff. PixArt, as in P-I-C-S, and then art, PixArt, all one word. And also Superimpose, I think it costs like £1 something, so it's not free, but it's cheap. Superimpose. What an app. I use that for years. I still use it sometimes. It's just literally Photoshop. It's just Photoshop, but it's really good. So yeah, those two apps I would definitely recommend. But I would say getting into freelance, when I left uni and I told my tutors I'm going to be freelance, they were all like, because it's such an unlikely, it's a lot riskier than going into an agency because you haven't got the security, you know, like you 1 month you might not earn anything. I had months where I didn't earn anything, but then suddenly the next day you'd get an email of the most exciting commission, and you know it would cover you for then like 5 months of pay or whatever. So that's how it kind of works. Like sometimes I'll go through time periods like, oh my god, I'm not getting any work, and then the next day you get an exciting email and you're sorted. So it's a riskier choice in job, and it takes a lot of work in terms of self-promotion. You know, once you're in an agency, you're in, you're there. But with this, you have to put yourself out there in order to get. A lot of emails have been sent, a lot of portfolios have been made and sent, a lot of talking. Average day as a freelancer, I would say, is what I quite like about it, and what I like personally suits my lifestyle, is I can choose what time I work. So I don't do normal hours. Like I will work all weekend, but I might have Monday, Tuesday, you know, doing other things. It's about you can manage your own time. That is like the biggest benefit of it. You know, a lot of the time I will work from about 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. I would say though, it does mean you don't get any holidays really. Like last year I worked all over Christmas Day. I had to do some stuff because if the deadlines, they're relying on you, your employers or clients or whatever, they're relying on you to get things done, and you know that you might have to work on times when you don't want to work. I tend to bring my MacBook on holiday sometimes. Well, pretty much most of the time. If I ever go on holiday, even with family or whatever, I still have to bring my work, because that's just how it works in freelance. You can't be like, can I have Christmas off? Because they're like, no, absolutely not. I would like to recommend something if you're looking into being a freelance designer or freelance writer or any kind of freelance thing like that. There's a website called Upwork, work, right, one word. And that was where I started. It was the best kind of starting point. You get hardly any money. It's a really small sort of, they don't charge much. But what it is, it's basically people who need designers will post their little job, but they don't charge much. This is the thing. They don't charge much. It'll be like £40 for an album cover. And you can, and you apply for it, you send your portfolio, a little cover letter and CV. And that's how I got my jobs started off. And once you get some jobs from there, you can then put it on your CV. Did album cover for blah, worked on blah. Like through Upwork, I did some magazine covers, which was insane, like science magazines, which was really fun. You get to do some really experimental jobs, plus you get to choose what you want to do. So you don't just get given stuff, you know, you can pick the fun ones. I did a book cover on there for a manga, I think it was. What else did I do on there? I did a lot of album covers, some video work, some editing work, but it's very low pay, as I say. It's like £40 an album cover, kind of on average. I got a few, like I did a book cover for 300, which was quite nice. But if you compare it to what you'll be getting once you leave that and start doing it full time, it's a big jump, but it's still a good start. It's a really good start. I started doing that while I was at uni, so I got some experience while I was at uni, and then when I left uni I'd already had a CV filled with jobs that I'd done. I would say social media is huge. Obviously you know that because you're on social media right this second, but what I mean is in terms of work, you wouldn't think Instagram would be good for art and design, but it is. There's a whole hub. People are more casual on there, you know, you meet clients through that because people will comment. You can comment on theirs, oh, your music's really cool, and they'll check you out, and then they'll be like, oh, she's a good designer, and then blah blah, you know. Social media really helps. I'm not going to ramble on for too long now because I feel like I've already rambled on enough, but if you have any more questions and you want to comment it below, I will reply in the comments to anything that you have to ask. I hope that this video was helpful. It's not the kind of thing I've normally done, but I don't know, I think if I had had a video like this when I first started, I think it would have been quite helpful because it's just kind of an outline and little, you know, things that might help from someone who's been through it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and goodbye.